Plaintiff Danielle McDonald says her son goes to school with the defendant's son, and she claims the defendant's son is a bully who assaulted her son. Danielle claims as a result of the assault, her son suffered a concussion, spent the night in the hospital, and missed 7 days of school. So she's suing for the ambulance fees. Defendant Clarice Ross says her son has been friends with Danielle's son since 4th grade. And on the day of the incident, Danielle's son instigated the fight. Clarice claims after Danielle's son called her son names, he hit her son. So Clarice's son hit him back in self-defense.
Start with you.
I'm here on behalf of my son, Dominic Rogers, who was bullied by Clarice's son. He hit my son, knocked his tooth out, caused him to miss 7 days of school, caused him to stay in the hospital overnight, also caused him to have a concussion. My son is a happy-go-lucky person. He never has been in a fight before in his life. He's what you consider to be a nerd. He never treats anyone any other way other than how he would want to be treated. In October 2016, my son was assaulted in the lunchroom. He was bullied. He was hit by Clarice's son.
Was there an argument?
No, sir.
Yes.
No one said anything to anyone. Her son just walked up to your son and struck him?
Yes. The lunch attendant, as well as the security officer in there, walked over and said, the two of you, I don't want any playing in here. So my son proceeded on to class. Upon my son going to class, there was a substitute teacher. Her son, again, carried on the same behavior. The substitute teacher called the principal. The principal asked her son to step outside. Her son did not listen to the principal. Upon class continuing on, after class, her son snuck my son in the hallway, hit him, caused him to fall down, hit his head, knocked out his tooth, and left him discombobulated.
No argument again?
Excuse me?
No argument again?
In the classroom, he was upset with my son for hitting him back. There was the argument.
Okay. Why are you laughing? Was the child hospitalized overnight?
I don't know. When I got the phone call...
Oh, you don't know. Do you have any evidence that he was hospitalized?
This ambulance...
Did you tell her?
Oh, I tried to.
You told her? Or did the school tell her that the child was hospitalized?
Her son was suspended. Mine wasn't, yes.
Ain't nobody tell me this Dominaire was hospitalized.
No one told you he was
nobody
injured?
ever told me.
This is the first time? Don't interrupt me. Like you over there laughing while she's describing her son got a concussion, left school for 7 days, hospitalized overnight. And while she's telling me this, you're laughing. And now that I want to ask about it, you want to interrupt me. Once again, did you ever hear that her son had a concussion?
Like when I got the police report back in, what was it, February?
In February. Yet you come in here laughing at your son, giving him a concussion. It's funny to you. Go ahead, man, finish.
This right here says that he had to go to the hospital. This is the bill. I brought his evidence. This is the police report.
And that's all you're suing for is the bill?
Yes, not the court fees, not the hospital stay, none of that. Just what would be on my credit.
Hear from you.
Okay, Your Honor. To set the record straight, I wasn't laughing that her son was hurt in this whole situation. It's funny that she keeps saying it was no altercation, which it was. These boys has been friends since the 4th grade. Off and on friends since the 4th grade.
She said it was an altercation. She said your son busted him upside the head.
Which is not the truth.
Busted him and gave him a concussion and had him hospitalized. What do you mean no altercation? You weren't listening. You were too busy laughing. No. That is altercation. I got news for you.
The altercation from 4th grade, they was on and off again friends, and it was an altercation at this time of the incident. I'm not sitting here trying to say my son is perfect. Boys make mistakes. Everybody make mistakes. Everybody go through things. On this day in question, the kids were sitting in the lunchroom, Dominaire, my son, and a few other kids. And they was playing this game called Neck. I don't condone hitting, period.
Neck?
Yes, it's a game that the boys play where they hit each other on the neck and think it's funny. I don't condone it at all. I never have. So after that, they was walking out the lunchroom. Dominaire called my son out his name, talked about my son because he don't have the latest gear. I buy what I can afford. And he also called me a few things that my son won't tell me so he can spare my feelings. Her son is not no angel. And I did call Miss McDonald and try to mend this. I called her, and the attitude I got back from her was just awful. Well, I'll just see you in court. I called her so we could try to hash this out. I called her. I said, hello, Miss McDonald. This is Clarice. I apologize about what happened to your son. Let me start there. She said, ain't no way we about to work this out. I just see you in court.
Okay.
But before
she didn't ask you
her,
about the ambulance bill? She didn't mention
No.
it? You didn't mention it
No.
when she called you?
That was the whole reason she called. Why would you call me if it wasn't about a bill, sweetheart?
Yeah, it didn't
Because
make sense
I
to me
think
either.
I
I believe the
also-
woman, instead of suing you, she would have at some point, say to you, I got a $520 bill. Let's talk about that. You telling me the woman never mentioned it. Got it.
No.
So finish telling your story about what occurred with the fight.
Okay, so after Dominier said whatever he said to my son, they walked back to class, and Dominier proceeded to hit my son in the head with some books. My son then defended himself. He hit Dominier after Dominier hit him. Dominier tried to hit him, and my son moved and hit Dominier again.
Stand up, young man. Stand up, young man. And you tell me he attacks him.
You can have a seat.
Stop attacking him.
I got,
So, what is the result of all of this with the school?
well, my son received,
Anybody suspended?
my son, 5 days.
Was your son suspended?
No. And may I add to the activities,
Yes.
please? My son was not sitting with your son. My son does not play hand contact.
Ma'am, you don't know what your son does, and you don't know
that
what
right?
your son does. All I do know, it does not sound reasonable that he was hospitalized, had to go by ambulance when your son was not harmed physically. Also, I don't think this young man is that brave to attack your son looking at their sizes. Thirdly, you admit that your son was suspended for 5 days. Did you discuss with your principal why your son was suspended? Did you give him
I
the
did.
story you gave me? And what did they say?
Well, when I got there, we were supposed to have mediation. Miss McDonald didn't show. She didn't call. I missed work. So they rescheduled the mediation. And again, she didn't call, didn't show. So it wasn't too much that we could have did.
Oh, yes, it is.
discussing
When you don't
her.
show up for mediation, they dismiss the person's claim who was not there. Your son wouldn't have been suspended because they wouldn't have had the other side of the story. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
My son is not perfect, and your son is not no angel. I just want you to see that boys going to be boys. And as mothers, we need to band together so they can keep, it's already enough going on.
I'm not going to say that my son is an angel, but one thing I will say is he will never try to harm someone.
Your son hit my son, and he's failing to tell you that.
Plaintiff Gail Everson says the defendant is her younger sister, and she lived off of their parents until they passed away. Gail claims the defendant filed a false police report against her, and she's suing her sister today for unpaid property taxes. Defendant Janice Peterson loves Gail, but she does not like her ways. Janice says Gail got caught shoplifting, and she claimed to be Janice. And Janice didn't find out until the police came to arrest her. She's countersuing for household repairs and moving expenses.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Your Honor, I am the middle child out of 5 girls. Janice Peterson is actually one of my younger sisters, but you would think she was my older sister because my voice means nothing to her. It's her way or no way.
How long has that been?
Oh, God, for years. Years. All my adult life, pretty much.
She the youngest child?
No, it's one more under her.
All right.
It's 5 of us. So
So she in the wrong spot to be doing all that. That's for the baby.
right.
Go ahead.
Right. So just to give you a little bit, back in 2017, Miss Peterson went to the police department and told them that I used her credit card and stole $175 off of it. That was the only way the bank would refund the money is with the police report. But she literally put my name on the police report.
Did you get any time for it?
No, actually, the prosecution, the detective went to the prosecution, and they actually refused to take the case.
Otherwise, you'd have got some time.
Oh, no doubt, I would have done some time. Exactly.
Because you did it.
No, I didn't do it.
Well, why are you going to get time if you didn't do it?
If I hadn't done it, I would have got.
No, I didn't ask you that. I said if the prosecutor decided to prosecute you, would you have gotten time? And you said yes.
I probably would have because of my record.
Because you did it.
No, I did not do it.
Yes, you did. Your
Thank
Honor.
you. Move on. You better be glad you're not suing for that, because I can
Okay.
tell you guilty.
Okay, so I do have the report from the police department where the
I'm just
prosecution.
messing with you,
Okay.
ma'am. Totally.
Janice, this is her MO. She lived off our parents straight up into their death. It's not,
Starting at what age? As a
probably
young adult?
20
Really?
Yeah, as a young adult, yes.
Off of them, meaning with them? Or?
She thinks she's God's gift to men. That's what she believes.
Well, why she ain't live off of them then? Y'all wasn't telling her that when she was leaning on your parents?
You can't tell somebody something that knows everything, you know.
You can tell mama, shut your purse. She got all these men chasing her. If she don't know what to do, then don't y'all give it to her. Let her starve and eat slop and drink muddy water.
Yeah, you're right.
But you say she was always trouble, obviously, because she had a bunch of men chasing her and she still leaned on your parents?
Yes, she lived.
Lived with them?
Lived.
How many
It's a
years?
2-family house. She lived on the 2nd floor, straight up until Mom died.
How did that go? What did your parents tell you about her living there?
Well, she was supposed to pay $200 a month rent. She paid Mama that when she got ready. Okay. My mama was very thorough about receipts. So she paid my mom $200 when she got ready to pay her. So, and she always kept a roommate as well. So all her life, she's always had a roommate. When she did venture out onto her own, she was probably on her own for 2 years, and back in Mama's house she went, you know. So.
And they said she was all right, no fussing and no.
Oh, there was always Mama just always disagreed with a lot of things that she did, you know. Certain men in the house that were forbidden fruit to us when we were growing up, you know. Because like I said, it was 5 girls, and we couldn't talk to the guys up the street because they were forbidden fruit. We couldn't even speak to them. So
They were criminals?
Criminals and
not going in the right direction, or what do you mean?
I really couldn't say that because as a child, we just knew that we could not speak to them.
You don't know why?
It wasn't until I got older that I realized what they were talking about. One of them stayed in and out of jail.
Criminal?
Yes.
Like I said?
Yes, and bottom line is we were 5 girls and they were boys. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were trying to protect you also
Exactly.
from having a teenage, being a teenage mother,
Yeah.
no doubt.
We didn't know it then, but yes, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, that's what that was.
Yes, yes.
Let me get some background from you.
Your Honor, I love my sister Gail. I just don't like Gail's ways. For example, back in the 90s, my sister got caught shoplifting at a store, and she told them that she was me. I'm not the first sibling that she's done that to. She told them she was me, and she went through the whole process as me.
What year?
Oh, I don't know the exact year. About in the early 90s.
Okay.
And I didn't find out about it until the police came to my door to arrest me. And my other sister answered the door. I didn't answer the door. They came to arrest me, and because of that, I had to get a piece of paper from the BCI to prove that I did not have a criminal history, which I still carry with me to this day. And I have it in evidence if you want to see it. It's page 16. So ever since then, I've had to carry this piece of paper to show that I don't have a criminal history.
This is the early 90s?
Yes. And even like she brought up, she just mentioned it was 2 years ago. She did use my, I know for a fact she did it.
How do you know for a fact?
I saw the charge on my card. I called the company. It was actually a cell phone bill. I saw the charge. I called the company. I asked them who it was. They said they couldn't. I asked them if I gave them a phone number, could they tell where it went to? They said yes. I gave her cell phone number. They said that's what it is. I called the detective. I know his name, number. I called him. The detective did investigate it, but because of the dollar amount, my bank refunded me. So the detective told me that because I was refunded, they would not proceed with this.
How did you determine it was her in the 90s? I do see that they've determined it wasn't you.
Oh, because when they came to my door, I had to go to Sharonville Police Department, and the detective officer told me, oh, you're not the person I arrested. They had a picture of her.
Showing
and the picture
her.
was not me.
Gotcha.
And the only reason is because she was incarcerated for something else at the time.
Already.
So she didn't serve the community service. That's why they came to arrest me.
I can understand all of that because everybody was on crack in the late 80s and 90s. But what about 2 years ago?
I don't know why 2 years. And I don't know how she got my
She
card.
not still, you
I don't know
still
how
on
she got
crack?
my card
Everybody, you
to
should
this
be
day.
off by now, ma'am.
Your Honor,
What?
I've never been on drugs.
Oh, well, why are you doing all that stealing?
I did.
That's even worse.
I
You're
was a
doing all
terrible-
this stealing. I can understand if you're smoking crack,
Your Honor,
that'll make you go to stealing your sister's stuff and fraud and all this. And in jail, you already in jail?
Your Honor, I told the police what I had did. That's why they didn't charge me back then. I had came clean with them. I told them that I used her name, okay?
Right, and that's what
why.
I'm saying.
Yes.
Why were you a criminal if you weren't getting high?
I was just running with the wrong crowd. I was a terrible child. I did a lot of things that I should not have done.
You were a child in the 90s?
Yeah, I was still a child at mine, yeah.
How old were you
Still.
in the 90s?
Probably my early
In 95,
20s.
how old were you?
I don't know, in 90, I was born in 65.
Was she a child? Well, you wasn't no
I
child.
was still a child in mind and heart. I hadn't grown up yet.
How about 2 years ago?
Like I said, I have the police report here where the reason they did not prosecute me is because the prosecution...
They ain't have enough evidence?
No,
Oh,
no.
yes, it is.
They went to the phone carrier and found out that I had never paid a deductible on my account. That's why they didn't prosecute me.
I'm just messing with you. You
Yeah.
admitted to what you did.
Exactly.
That's a stand-up person. I respect that.
Well.
And I no longer think you're on crack because the crackheads, they are the best liars in the entire world. I hate when they come before me because that's all they do is lie and steal every day to fulfill their habit. And I rarely lie. Not that I don't, I rarely do. But, you know, I could never catch them. What else you want to say before we get into the details of the property tax?
Oh, what I was saying is, if you want to know she has a very lengthy criminal history, which is on page 12 and 13. And because of that, the family's always had to step in and raise her children.
Oh, my.
Because of her
Ma'am,
being
please
in-
tell me you own something if this is true.
This is true.
Somebody, they took your children from you.
Yes, we raised...
What's you all's understanding of her deal? Why was she doing all this?
The only thing I can say is when we got custody of her first two children...
Not you.
Well, at the time I was a child, so when my mother got custody of her two children, her two oldest children, Department of Human Services, they were trying to reunify the family when she got out. So they gave us a book, which was for us to help explain to her children that their mother does have a drug problem. Now, I can't say it, but all I know is Department of Human Services.
Man. See, you have 20 cases here, ma'am. Let's move on. See, I told you I couldn't catch him.
Yeah.
Can't catch him. It's hard. Hard to catch a crackhead. What you suing her for, ma'am? Tell me about this property tax.
Your Honor, our parent, my mother died back in 2011. In 2017 into 2016, 2017, me and Janice, it's a two-family house. We inherited that home and we decided to split the property taxes since we were the two living there. I was on the first floor and she's on the second floor.
And there were no debts other than that, the property tax. In other words, there weren't debts already on it.
Well,
When you got it, was there a mortgage?
there was, it was a mortgage, but since then the mortgage has been forgiven.
Okay, so
was
you
just
all
back
never
taxes.
paid on the mortgage?
No, we never paid on the
Okay, I'm just trying to see who paid what during the
No.
time that you all had the house.
Right.
Because if one person paid all the mortgage and the other person was, I don't know what you're about to say, but then the other
Right.
person paid all the property tax. So what did you all agree on?
We agreed to split the property taxes,
Yeah,
but
you
then
did
there was
say that,
$6,000.
50-50.
There was $6,000 in arrears then because it went through probate court and what have not. She stayed in the house, once Mom died. She actually changed the locks on the house and wouldn't let nobody in the house. It wasn't until we got in front of a magistrate where they made her let us into the home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I need to go back one.
Sure.
Something she said as far as my kids. Like I said, I was a terrible child. I did a lot of things that I should not have done. Okay, but if the truth must be told, my mother raised her daughter as well. That's just how my mom was. She kept the kids together, and I had never done drugs. She continued. It wasn't until later in life that my mom realized that I wasn't on drugs, and come to find out she's the one that put the drugs into the system mouth that said I was
Why
on
did
drugs.
they remove your children?
Because I had got sentenced to time. Okay.
Why?
So
What was that for?
Receiving stolen property.
Why were you doing that, engaged in that?
I cannot sit here and lie to you. I was back then I was terrible. I didn't believe
All right, but
nothing nobody
people
told
calm
me.
down when they get children for the most part unless they're drug addicts.
No.
Let's move
I
on,
did
ma'am.
calm
Let's
down once,
move on, ma'am,
it was
because I
too
don't
late.
believe you. I believe you are a drug addict, just
Oh, my
like
God.
she said. Can we please move on?
Sure,
Nobody gets
sure.
arrested 20 times. You tried to act as if that wasn't the case in your life. I looked at it and I see your children were taken from you. Please, let's move on. Now, tell me about the taxes. Did she pay her share? If not, for what time,
back in
what year?
2017, her share of the property taxes would have been $1,112.48 a year. She didn't pay in 2017, 18, or 19, so the total she owes will be $3,336.
When is the last time you discussed it with her?
Oh, she blocks me out every time it's time to pay property taxes. If she don't have her portion, she blocks me out.
Did she talk to you about it last year?
Yeah, she said she was going to pay it.
That's what I'm saying. Did she
Yeah, she
give
said
you a
she's gonna pay
time
it.
frame?
Well, what happened was I had open heart surgery in 2018, and what happened was I was in the hospital, and after I got out the hospital, in the midst of an argument, she got mad at me and she threw something up, and this is how I found out all of these things. So she agreed to pay her share. She had been paying straight up until 2017. Okay.
I'm just trying to see what type of commitment she made most recently, and so we can discuss that because that's the one we rely on. What was the last time you all discussed how and when she was going to pay?
She said she was going to pay Memorial Day weekend.
That's May of 20. COVID was everywhere. But nonetheless, what happened when May 2020 came?
She never paid, and like I said, to this day, she still has me on block.
Okay.
And I'm not going to do hearsay, she say, but
You might as well. She said some hearsay about you, the worst type of hearsay.
Okay. Well, she had actually.
If this is some good gossip in particular, if it ain't good gossip, I don't want to hear.
She told my daughter that I would lose the house. She told my daughter she couldn't move in. It's a two-family house, like I said. So we have our separate entries, kitchen, and all that. So my daughter was willing to move up there and help, catch the taxes up.
After she moved, or after at some point? I don't know.
She moved out September
19, right?
Yes, sir. She moved out September of 19.
And your daughter said she'd help.
Yeah, so it wasn't until, like I said, Memorial Day weekend that I actually had to go up there, walk up the steps. It's hard for me to walk up the steps because, like I said, I had a 5-way bypass. I had open heart surgery. So I had to pay somebody to go up there, and what I did was I paid them to move her stuff from the second floor to the third floor, which is right over her. It's a 3-family house.
Did you give her notice?
It was 8 months. She hadn't came.
Hadn't been there?
She had came with a moving truck twice.
Oh.
She had came with a moving truck twice.
What month?
The Memorial Day, actually, she came with a moving truck and moved her remainder of the stuff.
No, the first time, when she first moved.
She first moved.
Yes, ma'am.
Like 3-4 months later after she first moved, she came back with a truck.
How could you
I live on the
first
floor.
move when you came back with the truck?
What she did was she sold some of the
First
stuff off.
time. When did she move and how did she move? Give me the circumstances.
She moved in with her fiance. Okay, she moved in with him. And what she did periodically.
Did she tell you?
Yeah, I seen her out the window.
You said no.
No, she didn't tell me.
What did you see out of the window?
She started selling this stuff out the house because her husband has a
She started selling it on the lawn? That's the only thing you see out the window. Let me hear from you, ma'am. She can't tell me whatever it is she's trying to tell me about you. Go ahead.
She is correct. When my mother passed in 2011, we inherited the family home. And there were back taxes on the family home, but because she and I were the one that moved into the home, and after probate in about 2013, 2014, we agreed that we would split all the household, everything for the house down the middle, which we did. As you can see,
Taxes, primarily?
Taxes, repairs, everything.
Okay.
Everything that had to do with the house, the two of us, because we lived there, split it down the middle.
Okay.
I have the receipts showing that we did just that up until 2017. 2017, Gail did not have her part of the money. Gail went down to the county and made arrangements with them. It's what she did quite often, go down, I don't know what she says.
Arrangement, obviously, on behalf of both of you because they don't split them up.
Right. And I'll admit, Gail.
Had you given your money for 17?
I did write Gail a check at first for my portion of it. It was never cashed. Periodically I would say, Gail, they haven't cashed your check yet. She would say, oh, I made arrangements with them. I made arrangements, and I never knew what the arrangements were. Okay, 2018, the house needed a roof on it. Like I said, I stay on the second floor. Rain, it was leakage, gutters, wall bubbling, everything. The house needed a roof. Gail didn't have her taxes. Like she said, in 2018, she got sick.
You didn't have yours either?
Yes. Well, I had mine.
You didn't pay it?
I gave Gail a check. That's what I did. But it was never cashed. As you can
Correct. When you give somebody a check and it's never cashed, it didn't happen.
Oh, right, right. It wasn't
paid.
It wasn't paid, but I had my money to pay it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so.
But don't act like you paid, though.
Oh, no.
You had the money, but you didn't pay. You keep trying to give me the impression that's irrelevant. Having it and not paying it is totally irrelevant to why you're being sued.
Okay. So when Gail became sick, she still didn't have her portion of the money.
18.
We needed a roof. Correct. We needed a roof on the house. We both agreed I would go ahead and pay for the roof, which was $5,000, and then there was an extra.
And at this point, nobody had paid any taxes to your knowledge.
Correct.
Including you. 2018, you have knowledge that taxes haven't been paid. You all agreed to splitting the roof in half, and the roof cost $5,000.
Right.
And so from there, what?
And then there we have the old box gutters. It's an older house, so when they did the roof, they told us we had to have the gutters, something done to the gutters, which is another $700.
Okay.
So that's why I'm suing her for that half, which that totals $2,850.
Okay.
And yes, I did have to move out of the house because she's correct. In about September, late 2019, I did start staying with my fiance now. At the time, staying there.
She knew you were moving out?
I never gave Gail. I didn't realize that I needed to give her notice to move out of my own house.
She moved some of your things?
Yes, sir, she did.
How did she move? She must have broke in.
She had to. To this day, I don't know how she got a key.
How did you get in her place and move her things if you all were in two different residences?
The door was her back door. Jenny was gone. Her back door.
Hold on.
Her back door was not locked.
Okay, you've been in jail enough to know whether it's locked enough.
Exactly.
Man, that was a burglary.
No, there were roaches.
That was a burglary,
downstairs.
man. There were roaches now. Okay. All right. I'm going to agree with her, and I'm not going to accept any of your testimony. I don't think you're an honest person at all. As even as recent as this, you committed an act of burglary. Your claim is dismissed. Yours is granted. Don't believe anything you say. Have a good day. Judgment for the defendant, her counterclaim.
Plaintiff Matthew Underwood says the defendant is his brother, and they have a pretty good relationship. Matthew claims he loaned the defendant money after the defendant's ex-girlfriend set his car on fire, but he has yet to be repaid, so he's suing. Defendant Damon Underwood says he and Matthew share the same father, and their mothers never got along. Damon claims as they got older, his relationship with Matthew improved, but he's countersuing him today for unpaid rent.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you. Me and my brother we always had like a great relationship. Always, like from when we met. Like when we met when I was 11 years old, we always had a great relationship. Everything was always phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? We connected, musically, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a classical pianist. I play piano, I rap, sing, produce. I do all of these things. And our father also loved music as well, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's how we got around there. We ride motorcycles together. I mean, he just was always a cool big brother to me. We never had any problems before this. Like no arguments, no nothing. Like
really?
When I became of age, 18, 19 years old, he used to let me come to his house and bring my girls over there and drive his car. Just a cool big brother, you know what I'm saying? That's all it was. Like I can't believe that I'm here now for this, you know what I'm saying? Because we never had any problems.
Okay, sir. How do you characterize your brother's relationship?
In the beginning, it was a very rocky relationship. We have the same father, different moms. And I remember the first time I met him, it was at an AA meeting that his mom was attending and my mom was attending. And my father was, the song Papa is a Rolling Stone. He was back and forth in between his mom and my mom, so they didn't always have the best relationship dealing with the same man. But once they got over that, that tension, me and him became clean. So, we have always done not favors, but me being the big brother, him being the little brother.
How old are you?
I'm 44.
I'm 34.
Okay, 10 years. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's a whole bunch of us my dad have.
How many?
So he has 7.
That we know about.
7?
Yeah, that
we know. I mean, I think we're around probably 11 or 12 maybe. I mean, he's told us about brothers and stuff that we haven't.
That's the day I'll always remember.
But getting back to it, me and my brother, it was a very hard time in my life, Judge. I got into a motorcycle accident.
At what age?
That was in 2015 going into 2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And my leg got ripped off, so they had to put metal plates and rods in my legs, and they actually wanted to amputate my leg because they didn't think that I would be able to take the surgeries. My mom's a recovering addict. She's been clean over 22 years, and she's an ordained minister. And she was like, well, I know a higher God. Rush my son, all them surgeries, we gonna get through it. And at that time, when my leg got ripped off the motorcycle accident, I got addicted to Percocet 10s, which my stepfather is also a recovering addict, and he's seen me, going through the addiction with the pills, and he caught me.
Now, let me ask you this. You went beyond the time which you were to take the pills, because I think the addiction sets in about 2 weeks afterwards.
Well, my mom and my dad, they let me have free range over my pill bottles, but I start abusing the pill bottles, and my stepfather, who's a recovering addict, who's now a drug counselor, he's seen me abusing them, on the pill bottle.
How many weeks after did you start abusing?
I was probably about 5 or 6 months into taking the pills before I got hooked.
My doctor has told me you shouldn't go beyond 14 days. And I've had them for surgery, just had them for my back surgery, and was scared to death. Because that's all you hear is people getting addicted to opioids. Probably had a 12-day supply, did them 3 days, but I had to do them 4, 1 every 4 hours, around the clock, because I had just come out of surgery. I did that for 3 days, and I didn't like it. The other part, where's the high come in? I never get high off of this stuff. This is the second time. They used to give me Vicodin last surgery I had. No high. This time surgery, I'm going to get high this time. Give me some Percocet. I'm going to get high. You had an altered state of mind? Because all it did is make me sleepy. Took the pain away and make me sleepy.
The effect that it had on me, I'm not going to go into vivid detail, but
it alters your state of mind?
Yeah, it makes you a lot more friendly. I was a lot more friendly, but I can speak on the withdrawals. Right,
now I know that's coming.
I had a real bad attitude when my stepfather. It even became to the point where I was belligerent, and I would tell him, I would break out and cry and say, you can't dictate my pain. It's even been, times with this is how it breaks up the family. It was even times where him and my mom would have verbal altercations. My mom would be like, well, he's in pain. And he's like, well, no, you know, you have to think about it like how when you was an addict and you wanted that drug, how you would go lie, steal, rob, and cheat. Just because he's crying, we can't cater to him. He's gonna have to go through it. And I would cuss. I would break out in hot sweats. I would break out in cold sweats. You know, and at the time my leg was messed up, and so my mom would have to wrap my leg, and I'd be in pain. And I had 3 external fixators in my legs from the rods. They had to put me back together.
Let me ask you this: what month did the pain stop? What month did you feel you could have stopped? The pain was so little you could stop using Percocet. For example, when I told the doctor, man, I don't want to take no more of this Percocet, and I think I can, if you give me something else for pain, he gave me Tylenol with codeine in it, and then it went from just regular Tylenol. Still had pain, still got a little right now. I don't need anything. All I need is a little back rest, and I'm fine. I'm not taking anything. So my point is, when could you have taken like a Tylenol or something? Wasn't there a point where that's all you would have needed?
To be honest with you, Judge, right now with these metal rods and plates in my body, your body automatically always will reject something that's foreign that's in your body. So like now my feet and my legs swell up in my shoes to the point where I have to wear a bigger shoe size.
Do they hurt? Are you in pain?
Yes, I am. But mentally, what I've did was I still get prescribed the pain medicine, but I had to get myself mentally and not want to go back to where I was at.
I got you.
So now
what's your prescription? Is still that heavy? It's high level painkiller?
I went from 10s to 5 20s and a lower dosage.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So that can happen. And, you know, I'm kidding around about trying to get high. I've never tried to get high. I just wanted to see. I was curious because when you're using heroin or cocaine, you know you're high. You're real high. But this stuff, you know, ain't nothing high about it.
Right, exactly.
Right.
All right. It's when you use it too much and too long for pain, you develop that addiction.
Yes,
That's
sir.
the bigger issue.
Yes,
but
sir.
these kids are using it without ever having an injury or pain. They start off with the objective of getting high.
And then some drugs induce it. Like you could take a Percocet 10. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've took a Percocet 10 and it'll come down and I might have a glass of wine and intensifies it. So it's always one drug to make it, you know, and that's what I think the young people nowadays, you know, they get high off it so long and then they need something to chase it or boost it.
All right.
Now, with everything being said, when I was going through that, my brother was there and he helped me when I was in a very bad place.
Good.
It's unfortunate that we're here now, but, you know, basically, we're here.
Tell me how he owes you for a loan.
Basically, for his car. He had a crazy girlfriend. He always had crazy girlfriends, though. They always crazy. I never met one that wasn't. And but this one was a little more extreme, though. She burnt the car up. She burnt the car up. And,
your car? His car?
His car. His car, but the car was sentimental to me as well because my father liked it, cutlasses as well. And my father helped him pick this one out and get this one out, and my father died in November. Last November. But he always had cutlasses. He loved when Damon got cutlasses. You know what I'm saying?
I had a cutlass.
So, like, he loved the car, and, like, I love my brother, so he loved it, plus my dad loved it. And with her burning it up, I'm like...
Did she put the clothes and stuff in it?
Nah, she ain't put the clothes in it. She actually tried.
She ain't real crazy.
She tried to blow it up.
She tried to real crazy and load the car up and then put it on fire.
Yeah, she tried to blow it up though, but it just I guess it being an older car, she tried to blow it up, but it didn't blow up.
Is that true?
Yes.
How? What did she do to try and blow it up?
Well, and you said you had a cutlass?
Yeah.
You ain't had no 442 in it. Did you?
No, I had a 356.
Oh, even better. I mean, that's all the same. Okay.
Go ahead.
Like you said, I had a 1982 Oldsmobile Cutlass with a 442. It is true that my ex-girlfriend set the car on fire. He did give me the money, but it was.
Why did she do it? Let's go there. We know
Mathis, you
you.
wanna
We
go
just
there?
can't run back at. We know what you do to this woman and make her try to blow you up? Lord.
Well, me and the young lady, we dated each other, for about 4 years. But when it became physical, I'm not gonna do the physical thing. I grew up in kind of a, violent home. So when it turned physical, I guess she thought I was playing, and she was like, "I want you out." And a month. I was out in about 2 weeks. So when I got out, it was kind of, back and forth, talking to her and this, that, and the other. And I told her that I didn't want to be in a relationship, but I still did things that like we were in a relationship. And that's how my car.
Now I know you like Percocet. Did she like weed? Maybe you misunderstood.
No, she
Up in smoke.
No.
That movie.
No, it was basically, I learned a valuable lesson. I learned it like this, Judge Mathis, and I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. If you are dealing with anybody, you know what I'm saying, and you make them or mislead them or misguide them in the direction, and you take their choice away from them, then you really can't be mad at the outcome. You know what I'm saying? You have to take responsibility. If you don't want to be with somebody, let them know. Just basically don't take somebody's choice away from them. And I did things, and I told her I wanted to be single, but I went about the relationship like we were in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Which I should have stopped that. No going to the movies, no one going out, no me rubbing your feet.
Did she feel you misled her? She tell you that?
Yeah, she did. We've talked, and she said
4 years, and you never say anything about permanence? Did you ever say it? I want to be with you the rest of my life.
It was some talk about us being together, but it was some underhanded things going on that got brought to my attention.
Did you tell the woman you wanted to be with her the rest of your life?
I ain't tell her that.
Oh, well, then that's why your car got burned up, blew up. Come on, sir.
It will never work. Like, I'm also a bouncer. I do private security in clubs.
Okay.
And he brought her to the club before.
Oh, man.
And
what happened?
Well, basically, a girl came in with her man. She came in with her man, and she said, "Hi, Damon." And all she did was speak to him.
And his woman went off.
I'm talking about, she said, "Oh, what you her?" And then she went up to the girl and asked her, "Did you give him oral sex before?" And I'm like, where did this come from?
Oh, yeah, no, she's psycho.
Yeah,
Tell me about the loan he owes you for.
So the loan.
We know that his car was blown up.
It was blown up. He called me maybe like a week later, because he decided that he was gonna fix it, up or whatever, besides junking it or anything. So he called me. He sent me pictures. He sent me video that he had took on his phone. And I said, "Who did that?" He told me who did it. And I'm like, wow. And he's like, "Yeah, I need help. I need help because I want to fix it." And you know what I'm saying? I don't have any children. And like my brothers and sisters, they all have children. So I usually have extra money laying around. Plus, I live by a motto, I don't buy it once if I can't buy it twice. So
what does that mean?
Basically, if I'm not gonna pay for nothing that's $2,500 if I don't have $5,000.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? I don't buy it once if I can't buy it twice. So I save my money like that. That's how I save my money.
That's a good idea. You heard that? Yeah. To do that? Somebody told you that?
No, nobody told me that.
That was common sense? That's a good common sense. I'm going to spread that around.
I've seen, like when I was younger, I used to make money, but I would have $300, but I would go spend $250 of it on a pair of shoes. Now I got $50, but I can't even take a girl to the movie and out to eat.
Right.
So it didn't make sense to me. So I stopped doing it. And like I said, I had money laying around, and then I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I'll look out for you." I was actually out of town at the time when he asked me, and I was like, I'll look out for you when I get home. And he was like, "All right, bro, thank you. I love you, bro." I'm like, "For sure, I love you too." You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm doing it. But I need my money. I can't wait forever and a day for my money. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "I got you." He was like, "I got a bonus coming from my job," because he got a real good job. He works at GM. So he got a real good job. And he's been there
Which plant?
Years. Ford, I believe.
GM Powertrain, Toledo, Ohio.
Toledo?
I'm a mobile equipment operator.
I'm thinking in my mind, my brother makes money. I'm not going to have an issue getting my money back. I can help him with the car. Plus, the car also meant something to me. And it meant something to me because it meant something to him and my dad as well.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'll help him.
You loaned him the total amount?
Yeah, I loaned him.
When was he? What were the repayment terms?
He told me in about a month or two. He was like, in about a month or two, I'm supposed to get a bonus from my job. And then the COVID hit. Then COVID hit.
I'm gonna pay you when I get my stimulus.
Yeah, when I'm gonna get my stimulus.
Same as that's the new income tax game.
He hit me with the.
Go ahead.
He hit me with the stimulus. You know what I'm saying? He hit me with the stimulus, and I'm like, basically, I didn't have no problem. And then a couple weeks went by, and then the pandemic hit. So I wasn't really going to work. And my money got kind of tight. You know what I'm saying? So I called him and said, Did they get you together yet? And he like, no, I'm still waiting, bro. I got you soon as. And I'm like, okay, I'm still waiting along. I'm giving him a couple calls. He's not really answering the phone, but he was responding to text messages. But I kind of figured, okay, maybe he's doing something, he's busy. He was responding to me through text, but not really talking to me, so where I can hear his voice. I wanted to hear his voice. And then time went on, I started to get agitated now at this point because I need my money. I need it, and you're not even calling me to give me $500. I mean, I loaned you a couple grand.
Okay. All right. You loaned him $3,000.
Yeah.
3, 5, 5,
I said a couple
9.
Yeah.
Okay. You said a couple,
So-
that's 2. All right. Just want to be clear, dog.
A few then. A few.
All right.
A few is 3, right?
Yes, that's what I say. Don't say couple. Say few. You got couple, few, several. Remember that, folks? All right. Sir, what did he say about the loan? Did you get it, and why haven't you repaid it?
Yes, he did give me the loan, but I never agreed to pay him back. I feel like I don't owe him. There's been times where it was an incident. I had a motorcycle. He's supposed to go sell the motorcycle. He parks the motorcycle behind a young lady's car, and she runs the whole motorcycle over. That's $45 going down. Gave me like $300-400 on that.
It was $4,500?
Yeah, for the motorcycle.
Okay.
I never agreed to pay him back. I don't feel like I'm gonna pay him back. He has harassed me.
Your defense is it wasn't a loan. No one used the term loan when it was made. When you received that money, or when he offered, or when you asked, was the term loan ever mentioned before or after you received the money?
No.
Sir?
Yes, it was.
What point?
In the beginning, he said, bro, can you loan me the money to get it fixed? I'll pay you back. And I had no problem with it.
Why
But
do you want to give you $3,500?
Because I felt like in the past, the stuff that he has tore up, that he was just repaying me because of the stuff that he had tore up.
Did you say that?
No.
All those calls and all those texts, out of any of them, did you ever say, well, look, man, you owe me $4,000 for my bike. You messed up my bike. You did this. Did you ever say that?
No, but I just thought it would be common, you know.
You thought it up until you told me.
Yeah, but I look at it like this. Like, he's stayed with me for several months, and he knows what my bills is.
That's your counterclaim, $2,100 for rent. Tell me how.
He came to stay with me for
When?
about 6 or 7 months.
When?
In 2018 to 2019, for 6-7 months. He a grown man. My bills is $925 a month. I would tell him every now and then, like, bro, you have to give me some money, but my bills are this. I need at least $350 from you. So he would say, oh, I got you. He never gave me any money on the rent. $100 here and there.
What was the agreement?
It was a gentleman's agreement of $350.
Sir?
Definitely wasn't an agreement. He told me as long as you help out around, so because I'm in and out, you know what I'm saying? So I do little things like I'll pick my brother's car up and go take it to go get an oil change. Just do little things like that. We never had a verbal agreement. He didn't tell me I had to pay rent. He just told me what the bills was. When he told me what would he pay a month, I said, look, I'll look out when I can. He said, you good, because I was actually waiting on a house to get finished.
You remember any of these conversations?
It was a couple months after he moved in. And I would tell him, like, you know, my bills are this, and I need you to help me at least give me $350 on the bills. And he would give me $100 every now and then he would be like, well, bro.
When you said at least give me $350, did he say okay?
He was like, I'll help out when I can.
That ain't the same. That isn't the same.
And also,
help out when I can means just that. That $100 he was giving you when he could.
But Judge,
yes.
If I tell him it's $350 and he said I can help out when I can, help out means I need my
No, that is not an agreement. That is not an agreement.
That's not
no, sir.
And also, Your Honor, I mean, just a super slap in the face. He just bought a brand new motorcycle recently. So you can buy it, like, but he was telling me I'm paying my bills. I'm catching my bills up.
What you been doing with the money? Tricking it off with women? Thank goodness he bought him a motorcycle. He didn't trick that amount off. And he gonna pay you your money that he didn't tricked off out here with these women. $3,559. Stay out of the strip clubs. They closed anyway for COVID, or they should be. Yours is dismissed. This man ain't owe you. Bye-bye. Have a good day, brother. Proud of y'all, though. Good brothers.
Oh, that's my brother. I love him.
I mean, I love him to death. I mean, to be honest with you, I brought him here just to show him, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do need mine just as much as you need yours. We've helped each other over the years, back and forth, regardless of the amount of money, whether it was $200, $20, $40 to get something to eat, $500, you know what I'm saying? Nothing can really come in between us, you know what I'm saying? But I felt like this was the only way I was going to get this out of him.